Hello, I'm Paul Pluta from Paul Pluta Prestige, and today I'd like to talk about how many watches do you need? And this is an interesting thing, and I think the answer depends on, many factors. Some people, going back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, a lot of people looked down on collectors because collectors were sort of hoarders. They were a bit weird, and the interesting thing is, many Patek owners from this era, when they sent their Patek in for service, Patek would often lend them a wristwatch to wear whilst their watch was being repaired. And some of these were in steel. And it's quite a fascinating concept. Nowadays, a lot of people have multiple watches, and that's just sort of taken as a norm. So it's quite interesting how society's view has changed. But what is the perfect collection? And I've often said, it's not quantity, it's quality that's more important. And I'd much rather have a couple of Pateks than just a huge mass collection of mediocre pieces. And I always say you collect for yourself. It's not to impress other people, it's for yourself. And what do you want? What do you see as being the perfect number? And I would say myself, at the moment there, let's have a look at my collection there. So just very quick. So just to review my collection there, we've got a 5107, which is a classic white gold Calatrava. We've got a 5035, which is my annual calendar in yellow gold. We got a Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Grand Date, which is my steel, big size, beautiful piece. I've got a Breguet Type 20 Transatlantic, which is a chronograph, which I absolutely adore. And I've got a AP Royal Oak in steel automatic, which is a 14790 ST, which is a classic steel automatic Royal Oak. So that's my 5 key pieces. Now I've got an Explorer, but I don't consider that part of the collection because I'm trying to flick it at the moment there. So five cool pieces, and with my adding to that there, I'd like to add, down the track, I'd like to add a World Time, a 5196, and also a Vacheron. So that gives about 8 pieces all up, and that sort of, I think, would be quite a perfect number to have. And it's not a matter of acquiring. I mean, 8 key pieces, and if I ran into a lot of money, I'd be looking at getting a perpetual. So 9, 10 pieces max. And that's kind of a nice number for me. I think 10 would probably be the all-time, perfect. That'd be the most I'd have there. And it's an interesting question. You've got to ask yourself, what number works for you? And I was talking to a good friend of mine, Greg Kinder, and I've sold Greg a few watches there, and his collection is growing quite nicely. He's got a Omega Seamaster James Bond in quartz. Not a huge fan of quartz, but it's okay. It's good buying. He's got a Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon, which I sold him. Classic piece, great buying. And he's got a steel Datejust with the white gold bezel, a 16234. He's got 3 really nice pieces, and he's looking at adding a 4th. He's actually looking at buying my Explorer 2 to give him 4 top pieces. And for himself, he was saying, look, later on, he'd like to round the collection off by having a Patek dress watch or maybe a day-date Rolex. So 5 all up, and they're quite good pieces. Those 5 there are iconic, good pieces, and I find that quite an interesting collection. And it's quite funny, those pieces could work well together. And I can remember many years ago, this is going back to 1998, 1999, and I thought I had the perfect little collection. I had a day date Rolex 18238 with diamond dial. I had an Explorer 2 white dial. I had a sub date in steel, sapphire, and I also had a Datejust. 4 pieces, and I thought, hey, that's the perfect little number to have there. And it's quite interesting. You know, what is the perfect number? And you know, as I said, I stress quality is better than quantity. You know, I think it's better to have a few key pieces than heaps and heaps and heaps of them. I mean, if you look at the money that I've got invested in my 5 key pieces here, I could flick one of the Pateks and buy 4 or 5 Rolexes. And you know, I'm not saying nothing's wrong with Rolex, but to me, it's not a numbers game. It's a matter of having pieces which mean a lot to me. And I've kind of grown as a collector. My tastes have matured, and I really love the high echelon pieces: Patek, Breguet, Jaeger-LeCoultre, you know, Vacheron, AP, that sort of caliber of piece. And you know, it's an interesting thing there. It's sort of how the collection grows. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the pieces. I'm Paul Pluta from Paul Pluta Prestige. Tell me what your perfect number is.